Hit the start record button. Alright.
Testing.
Alright, so I just wanted to give a quick demo of the digital game table, and how we use it to interface when we're playing D&D. What I've done is I built a opaque plastic surface using a number of different materials and a projector which we have underneath the table, which is a mirror and projects the surface onto the table. This allows us to use a tool called Map Tools to connect it to a laptop to act as a GM interface, so the GM can move creatures around off the screen. And then we have another computer that's dedicated for the game table. And basically what you can see is, I know it's kind of washed out and you're going to have a hard time seeing the actual high clarity we have here, but it's actually really nice. We got our good grid. We have like tables and characters and figs and stuff like that that are represented by tokens on the map. And it allows us to actually grab and move the tokens wherever we need them to go on the board. Now, that's one of the cool benefits, but the best part about it is that when we have Fog of War, which is enabled, so when a player can see around the corner, it lights up down the hallway, for example. Or when they walk into a room like this room over here, it lights up and only shows just what they can see, like just a few slivers here. But if I come out here, it lights up the whole hallway and all the way down into the other room. One of the really neat parts for the DM is that it actually automatically hides the monster. Like it's a monster right here, and it automatically hides this monster when you can't see that monster. So if I run around the corner and that monster decides to move over on the DM screen, and then I come back around the corner, the monster's now moved down the hallway one space, or it could have run off completely, and I don't know where it's gone. And that really adds a lot of realism to the game, in that the DM can have a plan, a strategy, and actually plan an ambush on his screen without us ever actually realizing what's going on. Whereas in the past, we kind of found ourselves...
You can move invisible creatures too. So, for example, I've been stalking him with a creature that's invisible, and now when it's his turn, he attacks. I could just make him visible.
And there he is. He showed up right here, right next to me. And so he attacks, the creature shows up and hits me. And none of that had to be like, in the past we'd track it in our head or on a piece of paper. Now it's all right here. And it allows you to remember the creatures that ran off and did something, and allows you kind of like a little bit more strategy or realism to the game. And of course, we have a couple other players that are over here doing stuff, and so they can still only see what they can see. It has the ability to put like open and close doors on the DM screen. You can actually draw a line across here, which will actually obscure the view. So if the player walks up to the door and he said, "I'm going to close that door. I don't want anything to come up and sneak up behind me that way." It's actually probably a bad idea, because seeing down the hallway, or just seeing through the door is better. But there you go. He closes the door, and now whatever happens in that room is grayed out. We can't see it. And the same goes for exploration. When we come up to the door and we say we want to open it, it may be pitch black, but as soon as we open that door and he reveals it, and there you go, I can see into that room now. And if a guy has been hiding around the corner where I can't really see, waiting for us to open the door, he may jump out and shoot us, or he may just wait until we walk into the room or whatever. But again, more strategy, ambush stuff. So that's the basic way. Now the way I'm interfacing with it, as you can see here, is I have an infrared pen. And underneath the table, I have a Wiimote hooked up to the PC, and it uses and traps the infrared point of light. And with a simple program, I can actually click and drag. And so, like if I use a right click, I can actually pan the whole map around, and I can look around where we've been, where we're going, things like that. And then I can also switch back to left click mode and grab a token and move the token around with the infrared pen directly with the table. So as a player, I may actually want to use a fig on the board. And that's really not so bad, because all I can do is I want to move over here. So I grab my token, my digital token, and then I move my real token, and then I can still use my fig. We found that for tracking monsters, it's better to just use the monsters on the board, because again, they kind of hide and show and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I could use the figs, but to be honest, it's easier to track it without using the figs, because I can apply states. Like Map Tools allows you to apply bloodied states, ongoing damage, and things like that to track them. So it's easier for me to just not use the figures. But I may for the big bad guys.
Yeah, we did use a fig for a big dire wolf, I think, one time, to represent the big bad guy and how big he really was. But I mean, that's really it. And then we just sit around here and we roll dice and play just like regular D&D, except for a lot of the tracking and the mapping is all done on here, so you don't have to spend time drawing the rooms, and the rooms are much more realistic. So now I'm going to turn off the recording and we'll just broadcast regular.
Back to your regularly broadcast.